Learn English sentences every day. How do you feel? Part 3. Talking about feelings and emotions. Learn how to talk about feelings and emotions in English through 180 feelings vocabulary. You can also practice linking verbs, such as feel, look, sound, seem, become, remain, stay, get, appear. Drill Part 3. Feelings 119 to 180. Mood of discomfort. Uncomfortable. Uneasy. Awkward. Nervous. Jittery. Edgy. Fidgety. Jumpy. Restless. Leery. Alert. Feelings 119. Uncomfortable. Not feeling comfortable and pleasant. She looked uncomfortable when the subject was mentioned. She looked uncomfortable when the subject was mentioned. I feel always uncomfortable around strangers. I feel always uncomfortable around strangers. Feelings 120. Uneasy. Slightly worried or uncomfortable about a particular situation. He remained uneasy in unfamiliar surroundings. He remained uneasy in unfamiliar surroundings. She felt uneasy about leaving the children with them. She felt uneasy about leaving the children with them. Feelings 121. Awkward. Making you feel embarrassed so that you are not sure what to do or say. She was awkward when nobody answered her question. She was awkward when nobody answered her question. I was very awkward to talk with them. I was very awkward to talk with them. Feelings 122. Nervous. Worried or frightened about something, and unable to relax. She felt really nervous before the interview. She felt really nervous before the interview. I got so nervous before the audition. I got so nervous before the audition. Feelings 123. Jittery. A feeling of nervousness that you experience before something important happens. She became jittery before the game because so much attention was on her. She became jittery before the game because so much attention was on her. I always get jittery the morning before an exam. I always get jittery the morning before an exam. Feelings 124. Edgy. Nervous and worried. She becomes very edgy during her period. She becomes very edgy during her period. I'm sorry. I'm a little edgy right now. I'm sorry. I'm a little edgy right now. Feelings 125. Fidgety. Unable to stay still, especially because of being bored or nervous. He is all jumpy and fidgety all the time. He is all jumpy and fidgety all the time. She is fidgety because her son has not come home yet. She is fidgety because her son has not come home yet. Feelings 126. Jumpy. Nervous and worried, especially because you are frightened or guilty. My friend is very jumpy today because he's worried about his sick daughter. My friend is very jumpy today because he's worried about his sick daughter. I'm not jumpy. I'm just excited. I'm not jumpy. I'm just excited. Feelings 127. Restless. Unable to stay still as a result of anxiety or boredom. The children were very restless during the concert. The children were very restless during the concert. She became restless to hear of her mother's illness. She became restless to hear of her mother's illness. Feelings 128. Leery. Cautious or wary due to realistic suspicions. She was very leery of him after she found out he had lied to her mom. She was very leery of him after she found out he had lied to her mom. He is pretty leery about any massive changes taking place. He is pretty leery about any massive changes taking place. Feelings 129. Alert. Quick to notice any unusual and potentially dangerous or difficult circumstances. I'm not feeling very alert today because I was not enough sleep last night. I'm not feeling very alert today because I was not enough sleep last night. But all the time, I was alert and watching people. But all the time, I was alert and watching people. Mood of unconfidence. Unsure. Uncertain. Unconfident. Doubtful. Insecure. Hesitant. Self-conscious. Intimidated. Feelings 130. Unsure. Not certain or having doubts. He was unsure how to reply to the question. He was unsure how to reply to the question. We are pretty much unsure about the whole thing. We are pretty much unsure about the whole thing. Feelings 131. Uncertain. Not able to be relied on. We're both uncertain about what to do. We're both uncertain about what to do. He is uncertain whether to go away or stay where he is. He is uncertain whether to go away or stay where he is. Feelings 132. Unconfident. Not confident. She is very unconfident about her work. She is very unconfident about her work. Many people are so unconfident about their taste. Many people are so unconfident about their taste. Feelings 133. Doubtful. Feeling uncertain about something. They seem doubtful about the practicability of the plan. They seem doubtful about the practicability of the plan. He is doubtful about keeping his promise. He is doubtful about keeping his promise. Feelings 134. Insecure. Uncertain or anxious about oneself or their abilities. She's very insecure about her appearance. She's very insecure about her appearance. He still feels insecure about his ability to do the job. He still feels insecure about his ability to do the job. Feelings 135. Hesitant. Uncertain about what to do or say because you are nervous or unwilling. They are hesitant about signing the contract. They are hesitant about signing the contract. I was hesitant at first to buy a cell phone from convenience stores. I was hesitant at first to buy a cell phone from convenience stores. Feelings 136. Self-conscious. Worried about what you look like or what other people think of you. She feels self-conscious if she is underdressed. She feels self-conscious if she is underdressed. He is so self-conscious about what people think of him. He is so self-conscious about what people think of him. Feelings 137. Intimidated. Frightened or nervous because you are not confident in a situation. Older people feel very intimidated by computers. Older people feel very intimidated by computers. I won't be intimidated by their severe criticism. I won't be intimidated by their severe criticism. Mood of confusion. Confused. Puzzled. Bewildered. Dazed. Discomfited. Flustered. Disconcerted. Perturbed. Disoriented. Feelings 138. Confused. Unable to think clearly or to understand something. I was confused whether this one is a prequel or a reboot. I was confused whether this one is a prequel or a reboot. She got confused at the unexpected question. She got confused at the unexpected question. Feelings 139. Puzzled. Confused because you do not understand something. Scientists are puzzled as to why the whale had swum to the shore. Scientists are puzzled as to why the whale had swum to the shore. He was puzzled by her sudden change of attitude. He was puzzled by her sudden change of attitude. Feelings 140. Bewildered. Totally confused. She was really bewildered about what happened. She was really bewildered about what happened. I became totally bewildered by his message. I became totally bewildered by his message. Feelings 141. Dazed. Very confused and unable to think clearly. He was dazed by the blow on his head. He was dazed by the blow on his head. I was almost dazed when I saw her in the street. I was almost dazed when I saw her in the street. Feelings 142. Discomfited. Feeling uncomfortable, annoyed or embarrassed. She seems discomfited by the situation which she finds herself in. She seems discomfited by the situation which she finds herself in. The king was discomfited by the question. The king was discomfited by the question. Feelings 143. Flustered. Confused and nervous. I felt so flustered because I didn't know what to do. I felt so flustered because I didn't know what to do. She tends to get flustered when boys are around. She tends to get flustered when boys are around. Feelings 144. Disconcerted. Worried by something and uncertain. She was disconcerted to find that everyone else already knew it. She was disconcerted to find that everyone else already knew it. We were all disconcerted by his strange replies. We were all disconcerted by his strange replies. Feelings 145. Perturbed. Worried about something that has happened or will happen. I became much perturbed by my son's illness. I became much perturbed by my son's illness. We are all perturbed by the news. We are all perturbed by the news. Feelings 146. Disoriented. Confused and not knowing where to go or what to do. I got disoriented because all the streets looked the same. I got disoriented because all the streets looked the same. She was disoriented when she used that interface. She was disoriented when she used that interface. Mood of anxiety. Worried. Concerned. Anxious. Apprehensive. Fearful. Feelings 147. Worried. Anxious or troubled about actual or potential problems. I was worried you wouldn't come. I was worried you wouldn't come. They are all worried about the safety of the treatment. They are all worried about the safety of the treatment. Feelings 148. Concerned. Worried about something. They are concerned about the child's welfare. They are concerned about the child's welfare. He remains seriously concerned about security. He remains seriously concerned about security. Feelings 149. Anxious. Feeling or showing worry, nervousness, or unease about something. He gets anxious when he goes to work. He gets anxious when he goes to work. They seem very anxious about the results. They seem very anxious about the results. Feelings 150. Apprehensive. Feeling worried about something that you are going to do. I was deeply apprehensive that something might go wrong. I was deeply apprehensive that something might go wrong. He was very apprehensive about tomorrow's job interview. He was very apprehensive about tomorrow's job interview. Feelings 151. Fearful. Frightened or worried about something. She was so fearful that she would fail. She was so fearful that she would fail. They became fearful of losing their jobs. They became fearful of losing their jobs. Mood of fear. Afraid. Scared. Alarmed. Frightened. Terrified. Terrorized. Horrified. Petrified. Paralyzed. Panicked. Shocked. Feelings 152. Afraid. Feeling fear or anxiety. I'm afraid there is worse to come. I'm afraid there is worse to come. He was afraid of upsetting his parents. He was afraid of upsetting his parents. Feelings 153. Scared. Frightened of something, or nervous about something. People are scared to use the subway late at night. People are scared to use the subway late at night. He was actually scared that he would be punched. He was actually scared that he would be punched. Feelings 154. Alarmed. Worried or frightened by something. We were alarmed by the sudden rumbling in the earth. We were alarmed by the sudden rumbling in the earth. People began to feel alarmed about the new coming virus. People began to feel alarmed about the new coming virus. Feelings 155. Frightened. Feeling fear or worry. My wife was frightened that the plane would crash. My wife was frightened that the plane would crash. He's not frightened of getting his hands dirty. He's not frightened of getting his hands dirty. Feelings 156. Terrified. Very frightened. I became terrified at the thought of being alone. I became terrified at the thought of being alone. Why is he so terrified of spiders? Why is he so terrified of spiders? Feelings 157. Terrorized. Feeling frightened by threatening. The citizens were terrorized for weeks by gangs. The citizens were terrorized for weeks by gangs. They have been terrorized by their own governments. They have been terrorized by their own governments. Feelings 158. Horrified. Extremely shocked. We were horrified when we discovered the conditions in which we lived. We were horrified when we discovered the conditions in which we lived. I felt horrified at the sight of the destructive waves. I felt horrified at the sight of the destructive waves. Feelings 159. Petrified. So frightened that one is unable to move. She was petrified with fear when she saw the snake. She was petrified with fear when she saw the snake. I was petrified in the doctor's office in Melbourne. I was petrified in the doctor's office in Melbourne. Feelings 160. Paralyzed. Partly or wholly incapable of movement by fear. She was paralyzed with fear. She was paralyzed with fear. He is paralyzed by the thought of failure. He is paralyzed by the thought of failure. Feelings 161. Panicked. Feeling fear or nervousness that makes you unable to think clearly. People were panicked because the building was on fire. People were panicked because the building was on fire. He is panicked about his legal situation. He is panicked about his legal situation. Feelings 162. Shocked. Feeling surprised and upset by something very unexpected and unpleasant. He is shocked at what happened to his son. He is shocked at what happened to his son. They were shocked at the size of his debts. They were shocked at the size of his debts. Mood of caution. Careful. Suspicious. Cautious. Wary. Distrustful. Feelings 163. Careful. Trying very hard to avoid doing anything wrong. He was careful to keep out of sight. He was careful to keep out of sight. She was careful not to let her control slip. She was careful not to let her control slip. Feelings 164. Suspicious. Thinking that someone might be guilty of doing something wrong or dishonest. I'm suspicious of his motives. I'm suspicious of his motives. We became suspicious of his behavior and contacted the police. We became suspicious of his behavior and contacted the police. Feelings 165. Cautious. Careful to avoid potential problems or dangers. He was cautious in all his movements. He was cautious in all his movements. We are more cautious about our investments. We are more cautious about our investments. Feelings 166. Wary. Feeling or showing caution about possible dangers or problems. She is wary of telling secrets. She is wary of telling secrets. I am wary of people who suddenly become very friendly. I am wary of people who suddenly become very friendly. Feelings 167. Distrustful. Feeling or showing distrust of someone or something. The citizen is deeply distrustful of all that is political. The citizen is deeply distrustful of all that is political. She became distrustful of her daughter's boyfriend. She became distrustful of her daughter's boyfriend. Mood of jealousy. Jealous. Envious. Covetous. Desirous. Feelings 168. Jealous. Feeling unhappy because someone has something that you wish you had. He hated himself for feeling jealous. He hated himself for feeling jealous. She was jealous of her friend's reputation. She was jealous of her friend's reputation. Feelings 169. Envious. Wishing you had what another person has. She is never envious of others for their wealth. She is never envious of others for their wealth. I am envious of his trip to Norway. I am envious of his trip to Norway. Feelings 170. Covetous. Having a very strong desire to have something that someone else has. They were covetous of gold and territory. They were covetous of gold and territory. He looked covetous of power. He looked covetous of power. Feelings 171. Desirous. Wanting something very much. She was desirous of her son's success. She was desirous of her son's success. We are desirous to know further details. We are desirous to know further details. Mood of fatigue. Tired. Exhausted. Weary. Drained. Fatigued. Worn out. Sleepy. Drowsy. Listless. Feelings 172. Tired. Feeling that you want to sleep or rest. I was so tired, my eyelids were beginning to droop. I was so tired, my eyelids were beginning to droop. The kids were getting tired and a little cranky. The kids were getting tired and a little cranky. Feelings 173. Exhausted. Extremely tired. I felt exhausted after the traumas of recent weeks. I felt exhausted after the traumas of recent weeks. He became totally exhausted after such a long journey. He became totally exhausted after such a long journey. Feelings 174. Weary. Very tired, especially after working hard for a long time. He became weary after their long, hot day of hiking. He became weary after their long, hot day of hiking. She was weary of dancing. She was weary of dancing. Feelings 175. Drained. Very tired and without any energy. I felt completely drained of energy at the other's chilly reactions. I felt completely drained of energy at the other's chilly reactions. When it's over, I feel drained. When it's over, I feel drained. Feelings 176. Fatigued. Extremely tired. She looked white and fatigued with her insomnia. She looked white and fatigued with her insomnia. I was so fatigued that I was unable to take another step. I was so fatigued that I was unable to take another step. Feelings 177. Worn out. Extremely tired or exhausted. Can we sit down? I'm worn out. Can we sit down? I'm worn out. She seems worn out from the long trip. She seems worn out from the long trip. Feelings 178. Sleepy. Tired and wanting to sleep. I don't know why I'm so sleepy. I don't know why I'm so sleepy. We were so sleepy during the entire class. We were so sleepy during the entire class. Feelings 179. Drowsy. Tired and almost asleep. She got so drowsy after taking some medicine. She got so drowsy after taking some medicine. She became extremely drowsy after she ate so much lunch. She became extremely drowsy after she ate so much lunch. Feelings 180. Listless. Having no energy and enthusiasm. He seems so listless at many family affairs. He seems so listless at many family affairs. My mom was listless and hadn't eaten all day. My mom was listless and hadn't eaten all day. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys understand how to talk about feelings and emotions in English through this video. If you want to practice more English grammar and vocabulary, watch our next video. If you enjoy this video, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And leave a like, share and put any comments below.